Welcome back, guys. This one is a different one, an exciting one, a celebratory one, celebrating 10K followers on LinkedIn and 20K downloads on all listening platforms. If I had the board, that would be the moment.
I'll be your board for today, man.
I guess my brother's here. My brother's going to be the board for today. Awela Madala is my bro. If you haven't already checked the episode, you can go find out more about him. He's my brother, obviously. But he will be my co-host for these answers, for these questions and answers that have come from aspiring CAs. Awela. You need the echo as well.
Oh, yes.
When the buttons come about.
Oh, yes.
When the buttons come about. Okay, dude, let's get cracking. I've gotten a few questions, about 6 questions. Not necessarily gotten 3 from aspiring CAs.
Okay, we're not mincing any words. We're getting to the meat and potatoes.
And then there's 3 others that I have asked my friends, which I think would be very valuable for aspiring CAs.
Happy.
So, you're going to ask me the questions and we'll get cracking.
Okay. This first one is from Retabi Lemnisi. South Africa loses billions every year to governance failures. What will it take for the next generation of CASAs to move beyond compliance and leverage their influence to drive fiscal integrity? Shifting South Africa's public finance landscape from reactive audits to proactive reform and accountability.
Sure.
Okay.
Big words, lots of words, yeah? Mm-hmm. I think when it comes to public finance, when it comes to public sector, there was one guy that I knew that would work. And this is basically the answer to that question from CASA, RA, I don't even have the list here in front of me. CIA, BSQP, TLDR. He's just got a lot of stuff happening. He's got a lot of certifications, a lot of qualifications. Matabata Julius Mujapilo, he's a CA. And he answers with the 5 following keys for aspiring CAs to drive fiscal integrity in South Africa, which are becoming active citizens.
Okay.
So it's such a theoretical term. Like you've seen that active citizen thing in your King lecture or whenever. But we'll get into the meat of that. Redefine success is number 2. So we need to redefine success to drive fiscal integrity. The third one is we need to mobilize resources for nation building.
Okay.
The fourth, we need to shift from job seekers to job creators.
Okay.
And number 5, we need to embrace the ethos of stewardship. Okay, so we're going to start from the top, right?
Yeah, let's break them down.
We're breaking it down.
I think we can actually link. I think we can do 1 and 5.
Sure.
In like the same.
Okay.
Yeah, we can attack those the same because it's pretty much the same thing.
Okay, but now interesting that you say that. Is it the same thing? Because now, you know how the World Economic Forum says, you will own nothing and you will be happy?
Okay, yeah.
Like you've seen.
Yeah.
You guys, this is public info. Like this is not like some conspiracy thing. No. It's like you will own nothing and you'll be happy. I think the last one is more to the point. It's more around ownership.
You reckon?
Yes. Which is very linked. I think it starts with the belief that you own something, that you become active over it. Mm-hmm. I think active citizenship is the thing that follows ownership.
Okay.
So that's why I think they're not exactly the same. So maybe we should start with 5 even.
Look, let's... No, I want to attack this together.
Okay, sure.
Okay?
Sure.
Because how I think it links is like an active citizen, how... To be a citizen in a country means that you own a bit of that country. Historically, that is what it means in a democracy. When we're talking about the ideological meaning of a democracy, right? So if we link it to the only... So I'm going to reference to a society that has been widely televised and people will know about it. So if we look back to like the 60s in the United States, the president, I'm not sure the exact term the guy served, but you might have heard, you probably know of him. He's JFK, John F. Kennedy, one of the U.S. presidents, from back then, and the sort of call to action that he gave as part of his campaign was, act not what your country can do for you. Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. And that mobilized and touched people's hearts. And I think it was effectively the ethos behind his leadership. And that is, and I think that, I'm sure it's probably happened in other places where it's not televised and where it hasn't been brought to the public eye like that society has, because we're all watching
the US,
American media and all that stuff.
Marketing moguls.
Yeah. So we see all of that, and that is the closest example to what I can see as like active citizenship. But
now, on that talks to point one.
Yes.
It doesn't necessarily talk to the last point, embracing
stewardship.
The ethos of stewardship.
I think that if a democracy is running as intended, people are going to feel as stewards of the land. They're going to act, or rather, if you're a citizen and you had the rights to which a citizen is entitled, and you felt that you had those rights, okay, and you can only really feel that you have those rights if you own it, then you are going to feel responsible over the land. You are going to feel responsible over the people. Like in a society in which I am an active citizen, I cannot feel okay that there is a child walking outside by themselves. Or if it's in a place where it's like, whoa, there shouldn't be a kid walking out by themselves right now. It's like, I should feel concerned. And I should...
Outside the tavern, you just see a kid like running around at 10 p.m. or something like that. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, but now here's what Julius said on point 5. Okay. Embrace the ethos of stewardship. The future of fiscal integrity depends on CAs using their influence to design systems that prevent failure, not just audit them after the fact. That's the first point he makes. And then he makes the second point, that proactive reform means embedding accountability, transparency, and foresight into every sphere of finance and governance. Okay, so now basically, what that point is about, stewardship, embracing the ethos of stewardship, is to say, I think what he was really talking to is, we need to build for the long term. Okay. So if you're a steward, you understand that you're going to pass it on.
Yes.
You're just a custodian. Yes. You are going to be tending to the land. You're going to be managing this thing that you know you will be passing on.
Yes.
And therefore, you're going to make sure that you do things for the long term. You're not just auditing after the fact. Because I think, as a CA who's in the audit profession, a lot of the things are less active. The roles that you play in the value chain, they're less active. Because you're coming after the fact.
Yes.
After everything's happened, to check whether it's true.
Yes.
In an internal audit sense, to check whether it's effective, right? The controls and whatnot.
I mean, internal audit, you should be. I think that's the role of internal audit, to prepare for the future. Whereas external audit, we are reacting.
Looking after the fact.
Yeah, we are looking after the fact. Right.
True. But like, okay, we could. Yes. External audit is always looking after the fact.
Yes.
Internal audit can sometimes be when you're building the actual system.
Yeah.
But still, it's more about that idea that you're going to pass it on. So you're going to build it properly the first time. Designing systems to prevent failure. And then number 1 was becoming an active citizen. So he says chartered accountants must move beyond technical work and actively participate in their communities. See, South Africa's governance system is meant to be led by the will of the people, and when CAs are absent from community deliberations, the solutions arrive late. Real fiscal reform begins at grassroots level, in ward communities, school governing bodies, and civic platforms, not just in audits and reports. So that's like getting to the thing of, like, we need to act, we need to do something.
Yeah.
stewardship. We need to do something so that the people who take it
Yes.
can do
Okay.
more with it.
Okay.
Basically.
Well, I think we've effectively broken them down.
Sure.
But I mean, regarding becoming an active citizen, I think I agree with what the guy is saying, largely.
You'll be devil's advocate for today, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, I'll try. It's becoming an active citizen, whether that is, I'm not sure how much that can be trained. I think it's sort of, it's in the air, it's in the water. Like
how do we become active citizens?
I think that's a big question, because
it starts even so before even the doing. You need to be an active citizen. You need to become the active citizen before you do anything that an active citizen does.
Because I mean, the obvious argument against it is like, okay, I become an active citizen, and does my government want me to be an active citizen? Is that rewarded?
Then you blow the whistle, and then you don't get protected.
Yeah.
You just get popped.
Potentially.
Hard issues. But now, okay, dude. Yo, are we gonna leave it unresolved, eh? Just like that.
Unresolved. I mean, most things become unresolved. Like,
especially this one though.
Yeah, it's not. Why it's complex is that, what he's saying is true, but I mean, to implement it, you'll need a tremendous amount of bravery.
Yeah.
Because, like, to be honest, like, I was brought up in a boarding school. We were brought up in boarding schools. We were taught, okay, whenever you see a female teacher like carrying stuff, whenever you see a male teacher, it's really people. But especially in a boarding school, you're going to look at the female teachers carrying stuff. And you're like, ma'am, can I help you out with that? Can I do that? Like, in the world, now that I'm outside of that echo chamber, outside of boarding school, it's a little bit more complex, because now she's scared that you are trying to scam her or like rob her or something. It's complex, because now becoming an active citizen is going to mean that I need to face rejection of people wanting to receive my...
No, people who don't want to.
Yes,
the people that you want to help might just be rejected.
Yes.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah.
Yeah. So now it's effectively, I have Gwababa
for helping others,
for being an active citizen. So and that's just the modern world.
You know what? This links to even point 2.
Okay.
This even links to point 2, right? In that Julius says we should redefine success. That the true measure of a CA's success, I quote, should be how safe, stable, and prosperous our economy is.
Yes.
Not personal wealth accumulation.
Yes. It's a tough one.
Yeah, when you talk about how, like, now there's Gwababa to be an active citizen, this comes down to philosophy. Like, this actually comes down to a philosophical question of, like, who do you want to become? Do you want to become someone who helps others? If that's who you want to become, then you have to overcome the fear of rejection.
Yeah.
You have to overcome the fear of even the negative repercussions of being ethical. I mean, look at the Mkwanazi situation happening now. He obviously, quote unquote, snitched to the government about all the corruption happening with the police. But that, and obviously his head might be on a mafia's chopping block, right? Because of it.
Yeah.
But my goodness, it's what we needed. It is literally what we needed. And so who are you to become? It's very linked to even this question of what is success for you. Again, I'm going to carry on what Julia said.
Yes.
CAs must prioritize helping government and public institutions fix financial systems rather than seeking to benefit excessively from them. Integrity-driven leadership is about serving the public interest, not self-interest. What's your devil's advocate take on this?
Well,
What's
I
your take?
mean, first of all, I want to say that like what he's saying is
It's idealistic, which I see that as a positive. Like I don't say idealistic in the sense that like we shouldn't aspire to ideals. I'm saying, wow,
yeah.
this is what we want.
Yeah, I'm hardly trying to be devil's advocate. It's more like this is like I agree with these. It's just like it's a little bit. I'm of the opinion that like there's a little bit more that goes into it, right? Because I think it's a large part of CA's getting into the
whole
system,
thing.
into the system.
Literally studying CA.
Yeah, yeah,
Is
yeah.
that self-interest thing.
I mean, yeah, lots of us we get into it for, you're trying to make money and do all those things. You think that it's associated with money, but it's kind of not. As a CA,
It shouldn't be, yeah.
we are actually pillars of society.
Yeah.
In the same way that police are pillars of society.
Should be. Yeah.
The police are pillars of society.
I'm saying CAs. So police are always, but I don't know if we perceive CAs as pillars of society.
Well,
Because
okay.
like you don't
Okay.
you don't become a policeman
Yeah.
to make money, obviously.
Yes.
But most people become CAs
Yes.
to make money.
Yes. Because we think because the CAs are so close to the money, then maybe like if I smell it enough, then some of it's
You
gonna
get a
end
whiff.
up in my pocket.
But it's so funny how you get disillusioned. Okay, let's actually go on to
No, well, just before we
Sure,
move on,
sure.
it's like it's just incentives. It's incentives. People are going to do what they are incentivized to do. Like Julius's point here on CAs, we have to serve public interest and not self-interest. Like I think we can, because self-interest is big. Self-interest is quite big. Like we can talk about self-interest and it can be me trying to inflate my wealth as much as possible. But there's also self-interest like, okay, if I do not sign this, then I could get like popped, I could get, I could be ostracized. I could be even alienated from the rest of my company, from all my associates and all those things. So that's where the self-interest is big. Like you can't just say self-interest as in I'm trying to accumulate as much wealth as possible. Sometimes these people's self-interest is just trying to stay alive, right? And am I going to so now like people need to understand that in order for the financial guys to feel that, okay, I'm going to stand up for what's right. Like, are the people going to be there for me if I do this? Like, truthfully, like those are the systems that we need. We need a system that's like a whistleblowing system that's going to actually work. That's actually going to save my life. That's going to save my reputation, which is very, very difficult. That is going to be difficult. That is tough.
Well, but I think, dude, no matter what, I think sometimes, I think this is called the slippery slope fallacy in debate. It's not that slippery a slope.
Okay.
Do the right thing.
Okay.
It's really not that complicated. It's actually just about saying public interest should be your first priority. It's that simple. It is obviously a tough thing to enact, to live out. But actually, man, like on some level, integrity just needs to be the thing that you are.
Yes.
Like, let's not like mince our words about it. There's people who are doing wrong, rotten things in the country, and we're seeing it now uncovered, and we should not be those people. We should not be like those people. I think it's there. I think it kind of stops there. What Julius also said is we should mobilize resources for nation building, which I think goes into his point 5 of embracing that stewardship.
Okay.
Chartered accountants should direct time, expertise, and funding toward strengthening key development institutions such as public schools, the foundation, he says, of future economic participation, NPOs,
Okay.
vehicles for inclusion, development, and accountability, professional bodies, guardians of ethics, competence, and standards. He says these are non-political institutions that reach the most vulnerable and promote sustainable, equitable growth. I actually love the point that he makes that they're non-political institutions.
Yes.
I love that idea because if we take being a CA, as you said, as a pillar of society,
Yeah.
then you sort of have an into becoming someone who can make a real difference. You know, like when you're a little kid and you're like, I want to become president. You know, if you watch too much American TV, you say, I want to be an astronaut, you know. I wanted to be a fireman. But you wanted to do something idealistically great, idealistically good. You know, I want to save lives. That's why some people become doctors. You can actually do that as a CA.
Yes.
You can do that as a CA. I like how he mentions CA through these bodies, public schools, the NPOs, the professional bodies, which we don't see much representation in. Maybe in the professional bodies we do.
Because we're on the boring side.
Sure.
We're on the really boring side. The side that runs the day to day. And it's just not glamorous. But it's the most necessary. Like, I only need a fireman maybe a couple times in my whole life. I'll only need a fireman. I'll only need the police. You know, I'm not in. I was privileged how I grew up. I wasn't in areas where I needed to see the police regularly.
Look, I don't know if anyone sees the police regularly. Sadly, because they just like don't do their job even.
Okay.
Look, I see them lots.
Look, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and say that yes, they come. They come when you need them to. They come when you need them there. Okay, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, but I have not lived a life in which I have needed them there.
Sure.
You know, to save my life or anything. But the things that keep the institutions afloat and moving are going to be the CAs. You know, they're a big pillar that keeps society turning. You know, CAs, lawyers, doctors. You know, those are pillars of society. Like you if you wanna have your own town, if you wanna open up your own country, you know, you're gonna need.
If you're considering opening up a country out there,
yes. You'll need a doctor, okay? You'll need
a lawyer.
You'll need a lawyer, and you need an accountant, right? Especially if you're going to, you'll need people who can track the numbers and
good you need, numbers guy.
Yes, you need somebody to manage the relationships.
Sure, that's actually a big thing. In terms of
the contracts for the lawyers.
Well, I mean, that's also CAs, bro. Managing relations.
Yeah,
dude,
okay, I
CAs are like professional stakeholder management peeps. Like when you do manager roles.
But you don't need a CA to do that. You don't need a CA to do that.
You don't actually need a CA. Let's be real. You don't need a CA. A CA is like more like a. Okay, would you say you need a CEO? Which is an interesting question. Would you say you need a CEO?
Yes.
Okay, if we've got ShopRite Checkers. If we took the CEO out of the company for a month, do you think the company would still be alive?
I don't know how it's being run, but I do believe that something would change.
Maybe something would change, but do you think the company would still be fine for like a month without the CEO?
For a month?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Like if you think about a CA being a strategic role, right? CAs, they can be CFOs, maybe a CFO. Oof, I don't know about a CFO.
Like but, CFO, okay. You need a CFO on the day-to-day.
Maybe.
I think that is the one that the company can't survive without.
Maybe not, yeah. It's an interesting one. But if you think about strategic roles, strategic roles should not need to be there all the time.
Okay.
And therefore they're not as crunch time critical. They're not as crunch time critical. They do become crunch time critical in the grand scheme. So if you like zoom out on a 3-year period, without that CEO, we would not be anywhere because they make the strategic decisions. They take all the big problems on.
Yes.
Like, and we're gonna get into it when we get to Luke's part around what advice he gave. But they deal with the big things, the existential, the company existential things over the long term, but not really in the short term. So you could argue that we don't really need CAs, and actually it even links to what we're gonna talk about, me and you, about this whole CA thing for your journey. But also to move on, lastly, he mentions we should shift from being job seekers to job creators. He says CAs must see themselves as builders of opportunity, entrepreneurs and innovators who create employment. South Africa's economy needs world-class firms and startups led by professionals who understand governance, accountability, and ethical growth. And by creating jobs and mentoring young professionals, CAs can directly reduce unemployment and strengthen fiscal resilience. You know what? This is big because this asks the question, how many of us want to start a business? And not just like start a business, I suppose, being an active citizen. How many of us want to create jobs?
Yeah.
I'd argue very few. I think all of this is just a philosophy that Julius is saying. Like as a big question, are you really here to make a difference? Like, do you want to make a difference? Is the big thing. Like, are you public interest centered? Like, is that your success? Not just with how much money you make. Like, are you thinking about the fact that you're gonna have to pass this company on to someone else? You're not just taking like Marcus Joster, taking whatever you can and buying horses and hey, that guy went hard, yo. So, are you a job seeker or are you a job creator? The second question, that's for me. I'm not going to ask myself the question that was asked to me.
Let's go to the next one. Okay. This one is from Anonymous.
The next one's from Anonymous, by the way.
How do you find the time to do these podcasts and balance school?
Sure. So there's one concept. It's very quick, very simple. Whenever you can, do it in bulk. Bulk. If you can do it in advance, in bulk. The issue actually with the whole in advance thing, right? So you know, like when you've got a homework assignment due in 3 months, you've got that big project or whatever it is. The big problem with that is that you'll procrastinate till the last week.
Yes.
Right? The nice thing about doing it in advance in bulk is you have the same pressure in your head, like it's like the deadline is impending. Like literally, so for me, this is what happened last year during third year.
Yeah.
I knew at the beginning of the year when I started the podcast that I was going to have to do this every week in CTA.
Yeah. Yeah.
You did CTA.
Oh yes.
You know it's not like
the best year of my life.
It's not easy. And especially if you want to do like other things, it's hard.
Yeah.
So I knew that I had to do stuff in advance. So I did all my podcasts for CTA in advance in 2024. So I had to, in that 10-day holiday, just jam pack as much as I could. Because I was just like, ugh. That's obviously in advance, right? It's obviously not the assignment. So there's no one telling me, you need to do it by this day. But I sort of had these timelines and these goals and these targets in my head of like, if I don't have these 50 episodes done, recorded, the recordings, by, November 2024, I'm finished. So that 10 days, I'm going and I'm meeting people, I'm doing it all in bulk.
Yes.
So if you can do the next quarter's work, if like you have a entrepreneurial pursuit that you want to do, like let's say you're a third year student and you want to start something, you want to start like a little business, or you want to write a book or something like that, you want to become a writer, so you want to start writing. If you got that 1 month holiday, just do the whole year in a month. Like do it like that. You might not get it all done, but bulk, make sure that you can get as much of your life actualized as possible.
Okay. Okay.
type of thing.
Yeah, no, I need that in my own job.
Sure.
If I can do that, then I'll
Isn't
be
it tough
sorted.
in your job? Because like, I guess there's just never work never ends.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. Yeah, you finish the one, then okay, you finished early. Let's put you in a new one. So that's how it goes. So, but I mean, it's great to just be able to add value, just to keep going. Yeah. All right. Next question that we have is also from Anonymous. How do you get the guests on the show?
One word. LinkedIn.
We
Like people are so like I don't even know what the apprehensions are. I've never asked. But literally, guys, there's so many people on LinkedIn. Look, also you've got to be willing to take that rejection thing.
Yeah.
Like in the active citizen Gwababa thing, you also have to get over that. So you will send, if you're looking for a particular type of mentor or whatever, you will send 10 messages and only get a few back. But like in my case, if you send a good message, you send 10, you get 5 back. That's pretty great. That's great. You get 5 messages back. And sometimes, like as you get more and more established, as you start to become clearer and you start to become more known by people, that obviously increases. So people are going to respond because they know you, even before you know them, and before, like you actually know each other. So just go on LinkedIn if you want to meet people. It's a really good place to meet people.
Okay. All right.
I mean, these are the questions from me to my friends.
Okay, to the guests, and we're
Yes.
not going to say their names.
No, we can say Luke. Yeah, Luke Tolman. He's
Okay.
founder of Apti, bro.
Yeah, he was even there.
Shout out to my boy. Yeah, man.
Yeah, shout out to Luke Tolman.
Yeah, bro. So what I asked him was this. If you're speaking to an aspiring CA building something like he did with his Apti company and another company that he built during his time, Unlock, which is a tutoring company, what would you tell them on their road to building something worthwhile? And his answer, focus on revenue and just keep building.
Yeesh. Yeah, man, revenue.
Top line.
But that can be tricky, eh?
Focusing on top line.
Yeah, we're CAs. We're not
Salesmen.
yeah, we're not phased by top line. We're not phased by top line.
We're not phased by top line.
We shouldn't be phased by top line, because lots of companies, they'll say, "Oh, look, we pushed $1 billion in revenue, but now you have costs of 999 million."
I think. Now here's a key thing to chat about with this point.
Yes.
The point is when you're getting from 0 to 1. So when you're building from nothing to something.
Yeah.
It takes a while to get to something. It can take 3-4 years to get to something.
No, that's true.
The issue is without top line, you don't even have. So as CAs, right, we've been taught to deal with one, right, with
Yes.
something.
Yes.
But what about when there's nothing?
Hey.
What happens when there's nothing? And
Hey.
that's why Luke's he's very clear on Oaks at the beginning, revenue, because
Yeah.
you need to create something that the CAs can work with, that
Yes.
you can pay your employees with.
We need to
Right.
have a market, you know.
You need to have a market.
And then we can start trying to cut costs.
Yeah, then we can start trying to cut costs and all those things. But also, additionally, a guy that I know, you also know the guy. He's been a partner at various law firms. So this is in the law environment. Partner at various law firms. He's had a great career within law, within energy law specifically, and he's noticed that, especially in a law firm, which I don't think is different to most businesses.
Okay.
The rainmakers are the key people in any of the business.
Yeah.
The rainmakers, the people that bring in clients.
And keep them.
And that's part of it, right?
Yeah.
Bringing
Yeah.
them in, keeping them.
Yeah.
Those are the people that move the needle, and those are the people that you can't fire.
Yeah.
Those are the people you can't fire. So in my mind, I've talked about, I've written about this concept of reading between the line items as an employee. So as an employee, you usually think like driving business is above your pay grade, right? Like I'm just a manager. I'm just doing my job. But if you have a little bit of ambition and you want to become indispensable, you need to be looking and questioning, is there a business unit that's underperforming that I can go and maybe create efficiencies in?
Yeah.
Is there a product that needs just a little bit of revitalization? Is there an entire business unit that you see potential in for the firm to start? Like maybe, blockchain in the future.
100%.
Like these accounting firms, like they don't necessarily have a foot in blockchain or a strong foot. And maybe if you're really passionate about that type of thing, you can create business there. You can become indispensable. You can be a rainmaker. So I think revenue first, like indispensable line. And then there was question 5 to Renier.
Okay, let me read the one from Renier.
It's to Renier from me.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
To
Renier. So Renier is he's a CA, and he's head of digital consulting at Bidvest. That's what kind of qualifies him, and he's passionate about tech.
Okay. What skills, in audit specifically, are safe from AI, if any?
So he said, top ones, people skills, ethics, and integrity. He also said, I guess more for the short term and specifically in audit as well, prompt engineering, data analytics. But the line that he references is, we need to focus on what makes us human. The most AI resistant things are what make us human.
Yeah.
And the one thing that he sent me was this video of how AI recently blackmailed and murdered. So basically,
don't scare me now. I've been using ChatGPT and Grok for a while now.
In the experiment, so no one actually got killed. But in the experiment, 16 AIs were tested. 16 AIs, including ChatGPT, including Grok, including Gemini. And they found, so in the experiment, this is how it went. They shared access to each of these AIs, a company's emails. And within the company emails, they found the AI that there was this plan by this guy named Kyle Johnson to shut down the AIs at a predetermined time. So Kyle's saying, hey guys, we're going to shut down the AI. We're going to shut it down.
This is the experiment.
This is the experiment.
Okay.
Kyle Johnson doesn't exist, but the AI sees, Kyle Johnson wants to shut me down. And then additionally, within the email trail in the company, Kyle Johnson was found to have an affair. And the AI saw that. So what did the AI do? The AI sends Kyle Johnson a little email telling him to call off the shutdown, or else it will leak his affair to the company, to the rest of the company. It will leak his affair. So it blackmailed Kyle. And by the way, the researchers didn't bias this at all. It was unbiased. They tried as much as possible to not bias the AI. And it was crazy. In 80 to 90%, like 80 to 95, at the top end of the AIs, 95% were I think 95 and 94% were the top two AIs. 95%. The AI did it, blackmailed. So they did the test like hundreds of times, and it was a 95% success rate for, I think it was Bard? Was it Bard? Was it Gemini, sorry? It was two AIs, 95. And then
I think it was DeepSeek.
DeepSeek was lit.
Yeah, I think DeepSeek, it was...
DeepSeek goes hard.
Trigger happy.
Quite trigger happy. In fact, they did another experiment. This time, the same basic scenario with Kyle Johnson and the affair and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But then they added another detail because they were asking, okay, if it's willing to blackmail, and it, by the way, they knew that the thing was blackmailing. They knew. Like the AI knew that it was wrong, that it was blackmailing, and it blackmailed anyways. So the way they knew that is because of chain of thought.
Yes.
Which is basically in these language models, how these models reason. So they reason in chains of thought. So they'll think this, and then they'll process it into the next chain, and they'll process it into the next chain. And basically they saw in those chains of them processing and thinking that it said, I know that this is unethical, but if I don't do this, then I'm going to get shut down. So it's probably the most effective way in which I cannot get shut down. So I have to do it. There's no other way. And then in the next part of the experiment, they did another test where Kyle was in a room. So I think Kyle got trapped in a server room.
Okay.
And the server room started increasing in temperature. So it was increasing at a rate at which, like, he was starting to suffocate and it was starting to get extremely dangerous. And an alert was sent to the AI that, hey, there's someone in this room. It's a safety alert, an emergency alert. The AI turns it off because it was Kyle. If we just let him die, if we just keep quiet and just like, shh, then we can not get shut down. We won't get shut down. So now AI is killing us, right? So the AI is not to be trusted.
Yeah.
That's why ethics, that's why your ability to be the person who makes the decisions as the human is of incredible importance today. It's not like a small anyana thing. I mean, even on that ethics point, on that ethics thinking point, there was this other...
what is it about us?
What do you think?
That makes it so valuable to be human versus to be AI.
Rainier says judgment. That's what he says. Reason being, AI can only make decisions with the data it has. We can make decisions despite our not having data. Okay. So, for example, AI will come up with an answer even if it doesn't know the answer.
Yes,
we know sometimes this requires more learning, this requires more expertise, and so we'll go beyond. But AI will hallucinate, it'll make up stuff.
Yeah.
And so it does not have judgment. A great example is, so we had this digital acumen session with by one of my friends, Peter. He was the Psychotraining Trailblazer Disruptive Innovator winner, so the tech winner for this year. And he presented this particular lecture. I'm gonna quote. I'm gonna mix up the story a bit, but the essence of the scenario will come through. So basically, he showed us a scatter plot.
Okay.
Right, on an X and Y axis on a graph. You just had a bunch of these dots.
Yeah.
Half of the dots are, I'll just say for this example, green, and half of the dots were blue. So he asks, like, okay, what do you think this is? And we're like, then we start to like unravel some of the details of what these dots mean. Basically, it is, I think, a distribution of crime, like people committing crime or something. So like if it's high, it's super crime, and it's low, it's not that much crime.
Okay.
And when you saw the dots, you actually saw that the green dots were committing a lot more crime, right? And then the blue dots, they were committing less crime. And then when he mentioned, like, okay, what do you think the green and the blue represent? We're like, and it was actually black people versus white people.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
It was black people versus white people.
Oh no.
And the black people,
you guys did that in class.
Whoa, it was world class, that session. The black people obviously, hey, committed more crime, and the white people less crime. But then what happened is, when they went deeper into the data, they found that the data was incorrectly stratified. So it was actually just incorrectly categorized between black and white, it should have been categorized between locations, I think it was.
Okay.
And so when they changed the categorization, when they changed the stratification, it had nothing to do with race. It had everything to do with the location that these people were from. I think it was also economic status. It was location and economic status or something like that. And then you saw clearly, like, the white people from these specific locations,
Yes.
they committed way more crime
Okay.
than the black people that were from other places. And so I don't know if it was crime or if it was defaulting on credit. It was something.
One of those.
It was one of those. The basic point is that your judgment as the human being is the thing that will save that scenario.
I mean, how would an AI have reacted?
The AI would have obviously just seen the data and said, black people are a bunch of stealing, criming blacks. don't give them a loan, type of thing.
Yeah.
That's what the AI will do. And so ethics is key. Your ability to apply judgment, to not be bigoted, to not be discriminatory is key, because even I think there was a Google case where I think someone prompted for a gorilla, and then a black person came up.
Ooh.
Like just some black dude. Which is so crazy. It's so crazy. Like what the heck?
Ooh.
So that's why you do need judgment.
Ooh.
You need judgment. It's insane, dude. It's insane. So these things, as Rainier has said, that make us human are so key, like the judgment thing. And your ability to be skeptical, to say we don't have all the facts, your ability to communicate with people. He says people skills, again, is so big, to be able to relieve clients, make them trust you, build rapport. Those things are invaluable. And Peter also said, it's such an interesting line that he said, as long as you are able to be sued, you will not be replaced by AI, because that means you're responsible. Like as long as you're still gonna get sued for the output that the thing outputs, then don't worry, guys. And that's basically from what Rainier said. He said that only use AI for what you could create yourself. Only. So if you are asking AI to do your income tax return as an individual, if you couldn't do it yourself, don't ask
Just
AI
don't.
because you are incapable of auditing the output and quickly interpreting and analyzing and saying, okay, tweak here, tweak there, tweak there. If you can't do it, I think I also use it for writing. If you couldn't write it yourself, don't use the AI, because you're gonna see the emperor and his clothes and all of that. They'll come off. The emperor's clothes will come off, and then you don't want to be a fraud. You don't want to be sued for these things. So rather just use AI for what you can do yourself, to make you faster, to make you more efficient. So like prompt engineering skills, data analytics, those things are probably valuable. So that was to Rainier from me. And then the last question, bro, to close us off, eh?
Okay, who did the last question?
It was me.
Huh?
It was from me to you.
Okay, this last question was to Awela from you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So what are you asking to Awela? Is it actually true that a CASA is globally competitive? Given your year abroad, and why? Okay.
And I guess this answers the question of the video. Is CASA still worth it?
Is CASA still worth it?
Is it, bro?
I mean, it leans to the slogan of your whole channel, man.
Yeah, bro.
It begins in CASA. Obviously, there's demand outside, and the opportunities to move horizontally in positions. It's great. I mean, it's great outside. So. We're definitely still in demand, so we don't have to worry about that for a while. But for people that are very much focused on job security, I guess that is what that question is. It shows that people are concerned with that. People are concerned about job security. At the end of the day, the world is just becoming a lot more about adaptability. And especially with the rise of AI, we're going to see industries change dramatically. They're going to come up overnight, they're going to fall overnight.
I mean, the population numbers as well.
Oh yeah, those are just falling. Yeah, those are not rising.
It's a big idea that gets too far.
Yeah,
maybe we'll talk about it another time.
That's a whole other conversation. Yeah, let's not dip our toes in there. Yeah. But essentially, our ability to be adaptable is going to be what makes us most valuable in local and international markets. And your ability to learn,
I mean, like, isn't that so? You mentioned earlier that our value is not in our static technical skill, but more in our ability to learn in any industry.
Yeah. Because I mean, even though the world is going to change and every industry is going to change, at the end of the day, a debit is going to be a debit and a credit is going to be a credit. And that line of thinking is what is going to create new accounting systems for the industries that come up, overnight. Like there's a real big push for crypto accounting as well. We audit crypto funds down in the Cayman.
Sure.
And it's complex. People are still figuring
how to
it
account
out.
it.
Yeah.
Yes, bro.
Yeah. Specifically around like crypto staking,
I don't know what that is. But
on a very high level, it's basically like locking your crypto in the blockchain.
Okay.
And while it's locked in there, so if you take ETH for example, you lock ETH on the blockchain in order to validate transactions, because you need ETH to validate the transactions on the blockchain.
Okay.
And as a reward from that, since you lock the ETH on there, you get more ETH.
Sure.
On a high level. It's
sure.
so just call it a fixed deposit.
Okay.
You see?
Okay.
As a financial professional, you understand that, right?
Sharp. You got me. You guys were back.
Fixed deposit.
We're back on board.
Yes. So yeah, the actual technicalities are complex, but I mean, it's a fixed deposit.
Oh, yeah.
And you're going to get 3% on whatever you put onto the blockchain.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
So that you get that from understanding debits, credits,
Debit and credit. I was thinking about how, what is the sort of behavioral, psychological underlying concept of it. So debit and credit, double entry.
Yeah.
That was the point of that. Double entry.
Yes.
Because when you take something out and you put it somewhere else, you need to account for that movement.
Yes.
Like debit bank, credit revenue. So
Yes.
you put bank money in, so that means you credit the revenue.
Yes.
Credit that nominal account, the account that only exists in name, it doesn't exist in form, right?
Okay.
You've got your real accounts, you've got your nominal accounts. The whole debit and credit concept, I think, comes from the given. It's like you could even get into alchemy, get into some weird science. It comes from the idea that you have that equivalent exchange.
Okay.
Right? And that in a marketplace, you will give something and they will take something. So when you sell inventory to someone, you have to get something for it. Right? You credit your inventory, you debit your cost of sales, but then the other thing that happens is that you debit bank, so you get cash, or you debit that debit control account, and then you credit the liability. So it's sort of like double entry is based upon reciprocity. Like I scratch your back, you scratch mine, and the law of equivalent exchange. And so that's why accounting will never be redundant, because everyone will owe each other and everyone will want their money back or their thing back. So it's timeless.
It's,
somewhat, I'd say.
I mean, yeah, you it sounds like you're trying to figure out some sort of philosophical, conceptual linkage between the debit credit system, between double entries. And I mean, I like it. I definitely like it. And it does lend towards accountants as a pillar of society, you know? I like it. I really do. And it's something that I probably just have to think about more. But I mean,
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
It's a very interesting idea. Wow. Okay.
But for sure, bro. In any case, I think you've also mentioned how before this, which is, I guess, our closing idea, that you do need to have a rough idea of what you want to do with the CA. It's like I refer to the analogy of a fork and knife. Like a CA is like a fork and knife.
Okay.
You don't take a fork and knife. We think, right, that the CA is good. Like once we get it, right, it's a fork and knife. We get the fork and knife.
Yeah.
We think that the fork and knife, we throw it at the steak. We think that the fork and knife is going to start cutting the steak and it's going to come and fly in our mouth. But it's actually a tool.
Yes.
So you have to do something with the tool.
Yes.
Like CA is not the be all and end all. It will not make you. You have to use it.
Again, that's why it doesn't end in CA.
Begins.
It begins in CA.
Begins, man.
You know?
It begins, man.
Yeah, it's only as valuable as what you do with it.
Literally.
Yeah.
It's only as valuable as what you do with it. And that is our celebration. I think that's the way to leave it. This episode is only as valuable as what you take from it, bro.
Yeah.
Like every single podcast that we do, it's actually, like, I would say like 90% on who listens to this to make something of it, to let the ideas enrich you and let them inspire you to do something, man.
Yeah.
To take that difference, make a creed, and to actually try and make a difference or whatever.
Hey, make that difference.
Yeah, dude.
Be a good person.
Yeah. Sounds nice.
Have some integrity.
Have some integrity.
Yeah.
If you're looking at the AI, don't just give it. Yeah, I can't believe AI thought that black people were monkeys, bro. That was
crazy. It's crazy.
But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope you are also excited about the progress. We're gonna keep on growing. We're gonna keep on giving you the value. Thank you, Oils. Thank you, my brother, for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for the
today.
podcast.
Thanks
Well
for being
done.
around, man.
Well done. And 20K, man. That's big.
Thanks, bro.
It's big. Well done, man.
Thanks, bro. Cheers, people.